M340i. I've done a few extra mods, so today we're going to find out what they have brought. Now, in the previous video with the car, you might have seen, I didn't really mention it, that it had a carbon fiber M4 CS style bonnet. I switched it back to the original one because I felt at like 290 it was sort of pulling the car left and right. I think some air got under the bonnet and acted as some kind of a spoiler, which is something you really don't want on the Autobahn. So if you're looking for a carbon fiber bonnet for a 3 Series G20 or G21, it's available and ready to be installed or picked up. So, oh, it's cold out. Yellow DRLs already had those Michelin Pilot Sport 4S Star Mark tires with the M Performance big brake kit, so we have loads of stopping power. We have our OEM M3 mirror conversion in cerium grey and in black, always in stock. We have a new exhaust, an Isoman exhaust, which I think is a beautiful brand for a BMW. I mean, they are known for their M5 E60 exhaust, of course. And finally, I have a good quad pipe look on the M340i. I think the size of the pipes is just right, and I think it looks just a bit more sporty than stock. So normally you have these weird looking pieces with a little exhaust poking through, so it's a little bit of a fake exhaust. Now we have a true quad pipe exhaust. So this is also available in our shop, and oh my god, it's cold. The biggest news is this, a CSF intake manifold right there, billet aluminium. This looks like 10 points, right? What a cool look. So basically the normal intake manifold has a smaller intercooler built in, and it's made out of plastic. So if you run a lot of turbo pressure, when you have a bigger turbo, I don't have one yet, the plastic at some point will break, like this charge pipe, which I still have to replace. So this is actually made for a bigger setup than I have currently, but you know, I do have the basis to do stupid things with the car, stupid power, and it looks absolutely cool. And it, as I said, has a larger intercooler. So as you might know, B58, wonderful engine, but intake temperatures can get really, really high because it's a water to air intercooler. So that means it takes the air from the front and then it sends all the cooled air to the intake manifold, where it cools a liquid that then cools the intake temperature, if I'm correct. So not really ideal, and intake temperatures, especially if you do multiple runs, get really, really high. Higher intake temperature means lower power. So you want your intake temperature to be as low as possible. That's also why turbocharged engines always perform better in colder weather. Now, what we're also going to do, I filled up the car with 102 fuel. We're going to map it. And in order to do that, I need my MHD adapter. I'm going to plug it into the OBD port. Click in the seat belt, get your phone out, put it into service mode 3 times. Open up the MHD flasher app, connect to the MHD adapter, turn off everything that uses power, so the lighting, the aircon. Now here, I'm running a stage 2, and here we can select 102 RON. You can also select various options you might like exhaust burbles, that you have an OPF delete, maybe you want a startup roar, high pressure fuel pump, if you have that, aftermarket downpipe, stop speed limiter removal. You can do loads of stuff with MHD, and it's really easy to use. I mean, even I can use it, so they've done a great job. Now we're going to select map right. Now just check out how quickly this goes. This is real time, so you can hear my voice. I'm not flash forwarding this. That was it. A 7-second ECU remap. So if you want an MHD license and this MHD adapter, go check it out in our shop. So let's start her up. Go into sport mode. Now we always have to check when we've done an ECU remap if everything is still the same, which it's not. Tends to change several settings. Okay, like that. Sport displays, which have been adjusted by MHD, so it can now read up to 800 Nm of torque and 560 horsepower, which stock is only 400 horsepower. So as I said, I also have a new exhaust. Let's turn off ESC. From Isoman, and it's linked to our own Evolution M200 cell downpipe, and then a Krapovich resonated midpipe. It's a dual valve system, whereas the stock backbox is a single valve system, so that's also really different, and it's just a lower tone. Now, as you can see, the gearbox super snappy and sharp. That's because of the XHP Stage 2 that's on there. Really a game changer for the ZF 8 speeds, like especially the downshift, like really alive. So let's see what the AUTOBAHN sounds like in a tunnel. Oh, that's a good sound. Really cool. So although we have X-Drive, it is very rear-wheel biased, so you can make this slide around in these conditions. You really have to be aware of the car's dynamics. I didn't want to pull through there because of the incoming traffic, but as you can see, it is quite tail happy. Now, XHP also has X delete, so that means it becomes a full rear-wheel drive vehicle, and it completely disengages the front. Now, let's see what this setup will do on the Autobahn. Let's go for easy sport mode, like that. And of course we run Racebox, so we know the exact GPS top speed and we have all the acceleration data. If you want one of these, go check it out in our store. I'll list everything that's on this car in the description. Okay, let's make sure the windshield is completely clear, and we have to take into account the fact that it's really cold and really wet out today, and I'm on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, so we really have to get a lot of space for braking and stuff like that. We have to really take that into account. Okay, let's do a 100 to 200 test and see what it does. Normally it's like 9.1 on the 98 map. Should be a bit quicker with the 102. There we have it, 8.9. That's actually faster than an M3 Touring. Which I think is quite special, considering how little mold you need to achieve that. That's 300 in a regular 3 Series Touring. How amazing is that? Now, normally when you do a run like this, intake temperatures on a B58, they are through the roof. So that 8.9 I did earlier would be impossible to match right now. It would probably be like a 9.3 or a 9.4. It really makes a big difference. Now let me show you guys that this CSF intake manifold makes sure that even now, after that big run, we still have very low intake temperatures. So as you can see, 8.96, the exact same number. Be aware of the yellow plates that go left at 110. I'm sorry guys. I apologize for my fellow Dutch driving the Autobahn. They're not really good at it, I know. this thing just keeps pulling. It amazes me every time. So guys, that was it. Lovely update on the M340i. If you have any suggestions,